All right, folks, we just got our new Makita dual battery string trimmer from Amazon, and it has now arrived. We are going to do an unboxing here and then thorough testing with this. Now, like with all my reviews, it is going to be thorough, but also I'm going to try to be concise about it as well. Give you a lot of good chunky information, all the things that you need to know about it, and also too my experience with it all the way to the end when I make my final conclusions over this. But I use a lot of Makita tools, so it was just kind of natural to get this. With this XRU15 model here, do understand that you can get different variations on this depending on how many batteries you want to come with it or the charger. In this case, with the PT model, it comes with a dual battery charger and 2 batteries. All up to you. If you already have a ton of Makita batteries and chargers and stuff and you don't want all that, hey, cool, fine. You can get other XRU15 models that don't have that, but this one does. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed and have a look. All right, folks, so we went ahead and got everything unboxed, and here with our Makita, here's our main power unit here. We've got 2 batteries that are already attached. Make sure that you charge those up before you use them for the first time to ensure their longevity. So shortly here, I'll get those clicked off, put them on the charger and get them all charged up. Looks like we have our main control area here. I'll have to read up on that. I think it has a power boost function and all that. Little safety here as well, which is pretty common with a lot of Makita tools. Little padded handle right here. Looks like we have an attachment point right in here for our shoulder harness. Down here at the head, looks like we'll need to do a little bit of assembly here with all this. All the rest of the stuff that we get, looks like we've got our spool. You know, I've not used one of these for years, so I'll have to read up on how to open this up and get it all set up. I'm sure it's pretty easy, I would guess. We've got something probably related to that, whatever that happens to be. Probably, I don't know, something to do with the spool, I'm guessing. And then we have some service warranty information. We have a little poster Makita always includes with their tools, all the different tools you can get in this whole lithium battery lineup. Instruction manual. Our dual battery charger, looks like our little debris shield. They have tape over this little sharp edge right there. We have our handle with the hardware to hold that on. We've got our shoulder harness here. Makita usually, all their shoulder harness type stuff, usually it seems to be pretty decent quality. A lot of times I don't need to use it. I'm strong enough to hold the tools up as long as I need to, but sometimes I'll use it. It just depends. Couple other little safety things. iPro, always wear iPro. And then we have a Makita bag here, which is almost kind of like all the little goodies and everything from here all came in that bag. So you can hold on to that bag and use it for random stuff. So that's everything that comes in the box. Let's get it all together. Folks, so we went ahead and did assembly. Pretty simple. The strap, if you're going to use that, just attaches right here. Takes 2 seconds. The handle here, there is kind of a rubber damper here. There's 2 clamps that come in, and pretty much what you do is you just, there's one piece that goes on the bottom, another piece that goes on the top, and then the handle goes over it. And then the 2 screws right here go down in there, and you just tighten those up. Pretty easy, no problem at all. With the controls, did some reading up on this, and it sounds pretty good. One good thing with this is we have different levels of power. So we have everywhere from 3,500 to 6,500 RPM, so you got 3 different power levels. So that is good. One thing I didn't know about when I bought this, which is I haven't seen on any other weed eaters, which I think is quite handy, is they actually have a reverse button here. So you can tap this button and kick it into reverse. So for instance, if you get the weed eater tangled up on some big grass, which is undoubtedly going to happen with me with the type of grass that I have, you can hit that button and it'll throw it in reverse for a couple seconds of rotation to hopefully get it unwound, so you don't have to like stop the whole weed eater, pull it out by hand and all that. That's one frustrating thing this other weed eater I have, where I'm having to stop all the time and pull all this junk out because it gets tangled up. So that's a cool function. They also have another function here. You can also hold down that reverse button, and there's like this, I call it the automatic torque drive technology, where it pretty much figures out what level of RPM to use and balancing it out with the battery power. I've read up on that, and it sounds like some folks like using it. You know, usually me, I would just manually set it, but we'll see how that goes. The head down here, getting that all set up, not a problem or anything like that. Just installing the shield here, just 2 screws that go in there. The head right here, not hard at all. There is a piece here that goes over the spindle, and then you have to stick a hex key in and lock this in place so this does not turn. So you just have to spin this around until it gets to where the gap opens up, and I think it's right there actually. And you just stick your hex key in and hold it, and then you can screw down your spindle on top of it. And I think this one is the updated Makita spindle that they're using now. It's like some sort of quick or rapid feed head or something. So we'll have to see how that works out whenever we get it going and have to refill it and all that. I went ahead and ordered a spare one of these too. I don't know how long they last or how durable they are, so I'll have a spare on hand. Plus I ordered some more twine as well. Folks, to get these loaded, pretty easy. All you got to do is get those 2 arrows pointing at one another, and then you have this arrow right here for the line in. Just take your trimmer line, and how I measure it is pretty simple. These will hold 13 feet of trimmer line. How I measure this is my workbench is 12 feet long. I have a clamp down at the end, so I clamp the end of this in the clamp, run the spool all the way down to the end of the workbench, and I got my 12 feet, and I cut it pretty easy. So you can probably figure out a simple, similar type setup. But we'll just go ahead and thread it in there, and it should pop out the other side nice and easy. And there it is. Now what we have to do is just go ahead and get it to where it's as even as possible. So it is 12 feet long, so I'm going to have to be a little bit off camera here. But we'll try to get it near as perfect as possible. And yep, that looks pretty good there. Looks like it's pretty even. So now we can just go ahead and start winding it up. So away we go. Yeah, we'll just keep cranking it. Getting down towards the end here. There we go. I think that should be good enough to get it started. The other thing too with your trimmer line, one of the things I like to do is trimmer line can get a little bit dry and brittle. So a lot of times it's a good idea to soak it in water. So some of this line that I have, I'll probably just go ahead and put it in water. And all right, folks, so in the end here, it's time to wrap up this review on this 36 volt Makita trimmer. What do we think? Well, super phenomenal. I would say overall, this is probably the best overall weed eater I've ever used, and I don't say that lightly. If I can find something else out there that's better, I'm happy to see it, but this right here, mega happy with it for everything that it does, and it's proved to be super phenomenal in how it works. Now, one thing is, I'll say, especially with the thick and dense grass and different things I have to deal with, thick vegetation and all that, very glad I went with the 36 volt model. Puts out plenty of power. And also too, the thing is with it is that it's a very compact package as well, in my opinion, for the amount of power that comes out of it. So it's not unwieldy to use, and I have to say in a lot of cases when I have the shoulder strap on, I can wield this with one hand, no problem at all. So that works well. The reverse function here, I ended up using that a number of times. I actually got that on camera. That ended up working good in tall grass. There was a couple of times where I got it bound up, hit the reverse button, then the trigger, and then kind of did its thing, went in reverse for a little bit, kicked the grass out, and then I went kind of in forwards and basically was able to spin it all out. I think there was one time where I had to use that button 2 or 3 times to get it undone, but I'll tell you what, that is an awesome feature right there, because so many times using weed eaters before, when you get all that grass bound up on that head down there, you gotta stop it and you gotta pull it all out and all that. It's just a big pain. So this big feature to me, and it works real well. We can also adjust the speed here, and that proved to be pretty good. Whenever I work around more sensitive stuff, I just put it on the lowest setting, and that works good. Up here on the head, I think one big advantage with this I found is that the head here is a little bit smaller than some other heads that I've used, and I think that makes it a bit more maneuverable in the grass and stuff like that. The other thing too, the bump feed head here, very easy to load. I actually take these off when they get empty and just put a spare on that's already loaded, and I just do that, and that works well. So in the end, pretty happy with that, and you know, probably over time it'll wear out, whatever. You know, that's why I keep a couple of spares around. And so far these have worked real well. Haven't had any issues with anything breaking inside or anything like that. So that's worked good. So in the end, folks, I got to tell you, definitely check one of these out. This has worked very well for me. Super happy with it. And if you want a good electric weed eater that cuts through some tall grass and gets the job done, this is it right here. I've used it for so much stuff already, along rock walls, fences, tall grass, vegetation, you name it, and it's getting the job done. Super happy with it. The only thing it would choke on is something that's kind of woody, something like that. It tends to have more issues with it, but I've got other things to tackle those types of things. So in the end, for grass and similar stuff, this is the boss right here. If I can find something better than this, I'll try to find it, but this gets the job done. So definitely check these out, folks. Have a good one.